don't have much to say for this series as a whole. From the start, yes, we all know how polarizing the show is, and that it's one of the most recognizable and known animes out there to date. And to stand here and say, yes, I like Sword Online would be a violation of my own moral code, but also a dishonor to my family. But just because something has so many glaring flaws, that doesn't mean someone can't love it, or that it can't have its own positives too. So let's get out our microscopes and try to form some sort of basis for what is truly worthwhile in the show, and what the hell is actually good about SAO. Let's start out with, well, the aesthetics of the show. Truthfully, the show does a lackluster job of world building for the most part, only teasing at aspects of the world here and there. But the areas and scenery are kind of stunning, which being in a fantasy world and A1 Pictures being behind this show isn't surprising. The world has a sort of glow and mystique that I feel is needed to feel like a lively, magical RPG world. Same goes for animation too, and the fights that happen. While yes, the meaning behind the fights may leave much to be desired, the action and animation techniques that are used make you forget the lack of care that might be behind some of them. Its quick, brisk pace never leaves a lull in the action like most shonens sometimes do, that are very rarely have a large amount of dialogue that drags down the fight or drags it on for long droughts, like a lot of shows and shonens. The show hits the fights, gives us the flash and the flair to go along with it, and moves on. Yet, again, I would almost like for the fights to go on longer just so we can stick with probably the most engaging part of the show. Nonetheless, we also have the music that accompanies the world in these fights, and honestly, Yuki Kadra being the queen of epicness and being the lead composer for Fate Zero and Madoka gives the show's epicness for fight scenes it needs, and also the calmer RPG simple town music and atmospheric music that will feel a part of the world, as much as you can at least. And truthfully, the aesthetics of the show are the strongest points it has, honestly saving it from being worse than mediocre. And the fight standing out the most probably being the Gleam Eyes and Heathcliff, combining all the aspects that I mentioned, and for the Heathcliff fight being one of the few times I truly was interested in the outcome of it, but not being completely predictable. And some of you may be sitting there getting ready to type, yeah, aesthetic shouldn't mean a whole lot if there isn't any substance to go along with it. Yeah, sure, it's pretty, but is there anything past that? And I would reply, kind of. Meaning the biggest interest and reason I picked up the show, well, first being I didn't know much about anime at the time and saw it was about video games, so I was like, yeah, I love video games. You know, we'll talk about more of that in a minute actually, but the premise is the big selling point for me when I was a measly, ignorant 17-year-old. Being trapped in a video game where you can die if you are killed in the game is a premise that's pretty engaging. But I mean, if you really think about it, it just kind of turns the game into your life, just more in an RPG world, but let's not go into that, except it's a lot more dangerous than awesome. But for real, this is a premise that can, I think, catch a lot of attention, especially if also being in a video game, which I hear a few people like those things. But I will say, while a lot of episodes had their ups and downs, the first was honestly one of the strongest at first glance. It sets up the mystery of this giant evil musician, being an actual real person who set this game up for some reason we don't know, and it set the tone perfectly, making a sense of, holy shit, they can die in here, but also giving the viewer a sense of this beautiful world that they are in, and even being trapped in it won't be completely frantic and terrifying all the way through. Mentally, they will have times of calm and being able to make friends to try to survive this. And this setup, if done again, has a lot of potential for showing the camaraderie that could be formed and the terrifying effects that an event like this could have on kids and people as a whole. And it does try to show this a few times, but ultimately doesn't follow through to the end and either feels forced or out of place at times. But hey, we're here for positivity and a little criticism, so let's get back to the positivity. This show has done a ton for anime. Hate it for being so mediocre and popular, and bringing in a lot of normies to the world of anime. You have to somewhat appreciate the love and money that it has brought into the anime world. So it's become almost a new force in anime, such as the big three back in the Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. This is a new wave from Attack on Titan and Sword Online, bringing in publicity and money to help make better, hopefully, and more anime in the future, which either way, building a community is a good thing. This is also being a part of the video games has done the same thing for that, and in the integration of and promotion for VR, which is a pretty awesome technology I would like to see grow in the future. And while I don't want to be trapped in a video game, being able to play in a hyper-realistic Sword Online-like world would be pretty damn awesome, if I do say so. where I can escape my meaningless existence. Oh, and so overall the show has done wonders for growing and maintaining an anime base, and also the promotion for video games too. But finally, the most important aspect and best aspect of this show is that it exists. So that Sword Online Abridged can exist. I mean, come on, that shit's hilarious. Just go watch the first episode, it's pretty damn good. They make Kirito an asshole, but damn charismatic, and Yui's character is actually funny. Though I know that is the purpose, because it's supposed to be funny. But still, thanks for existing, SAO. You helped to create a funny parody series out of your show. And that is it. Love it or hate it, almost everything will have something good in it, no matter how mediocre to abysmal something is. Well, okay, everything has to have something good in it, I'd hope. But otherwise, this is a new series I have started. Hopefully people enjoy it, and I will try to make more. Just let me know what video games or shows I should do for this. They can go from great or horrible, but I assume people would like to more see horrible things and see me struggle to find good things about them. But that's it. Let me know what you thought of SAO, and if you enjoyed, then please punch that like button with your fist, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.